If you give me the next 8 minutes, I will show you how the YouTube algorithm actually works and how to beat it to blow up your channel fast. Just like I did on this channel, going from 0 to over 50,000 subscribers in our first year. You see, before I understood the YouTube algorithm, I used to just make videos and hope that they got views. I would work so hard, sometimes putting in over 100 hours for a single video just to have it show up as an 8 out of 10 on my dashboard. But now I know exactly how many views my videos are going to get before I even post them. And it has allowed me to grow multiple YouTube channels to over 100,000 subscribers. And if you give me the next 8 minutes of your time, I will break down the entire YouTube algorithm in a simple and easy to understand way that allows you to predictably grow your channel with every single upload. And it all starts with, well, coffee. You see, every time that Starbucks adds a new menu item, they'll put it on the menu, and if it gets good sales, they'll keep it on the menu, and people will keep buying it. But if it doesn't get good sales, then Starbucks removes it from the menu and tries the next drink. It makes sense. They're not gonna put something on the menu that people aren't gonna buy. YouTube is the exact same way. Every single time that you post a video, YouTube sends your video to a very small group of people, usually around 100 at first, and they see if people click and watch it. If they do, it sends to 1,000 people, then 10,000, 100,000, and so on. At each of these levels, YouTube is just testing whether or not your video gets clicks and people stay and watch. And this is the basics of the YouTube algorithm that you've probably already seen. But I'm here to tell you that it goes so much deeper than that. Now, I've been in private rooms with people like Mr. Beast, Iman Gaji's team, and so many more. And this has given me insights about the YouTube algorithm that most people never get to see. And once you understand these things, you'll be able to learn how the YouTube algorithm really works. Because simply, once you understand the rules of the game and you know how it works, you understand how to win. Now, I just want to preface this, we are about to go in depth here. What I'm about to show you is not going to be super engaging like all these edits you're seeing right now. But if you actually invest the time and attention to stick with me through this video, you will learn the entire YouTube algorithm and how to blow up faster than 99% of people. Let's get into it. So I'm about to explain to you the entire YouTube algorithm and how it really works. And this is the exact same thing that has allowed us to take over 4 channels now to over 100,000 subscribers. And it's also the thing that's allowed me to take my personal channel to over 60,000 subscribers. So let's get right into it. Now, most people think the YouTube algorithm works like this. They have a video, and then if the video is good, it gets pushed to their viewers, right? But unfortunately, this is actually not the case. So the YouTube algorithm actually doesn't start off with the video. It actually starts off with the viewer. It looks at exactly who the viewer is, what they're interested in, what things that they respond to, and then it pushes the most likely video that they think that that viewer will click on to that viewer. And usually we can batch these viewers. We can have a subsection of viewers who all care about the same thing. So for example, if I made this video, maybe this guy, he wants to get 1,000 subscribers and he's tired of not getting views. If I made a video that basically promises him to get 1,000 subscribers very quickly, that is probably going to be a video that he will very likely click on, meaning that I started with the viewer. I started with that viewer in mind, and then I made the video for that specific viewer. That is how the YouTube algorithm actually works. So what you need to do is actually analyze who is your target viewer, right? What do they care about? Maybe that would be getting 1,000 subscribers. Maybe your target viewer likes to cook, right? Maybe they're vegan, right? They like vegan cooking, so vegan food. What does that person who eats vegan food respond to? Probably more plants. Probably they don't respond well to meat, so we can cut that out. They probably really respond well to more tutorial videos, where they are essentially watching a tutorial about how to cook something. And the video length that they probably respond to is around 10 minutes, right? Maybe 10 to 15 minutes. So now we already have a lot of information about this viewer. So we could literally make a video where it's how to cook a burger without meat. So now we're basically going off exactly what we talked about. And then we could essentially have a split screen thumbnail here. We could have a burger with some meat, right? And then we could have like an X up here. And then we could have a burger with like some sort of plant-based meat, right? Right here. And then have a huge check. So that is a video that we can use going off of this target viewer sheet. And this is a very basic representation of this, but we can literally create a video exactly for that, right? And that's exactly how you need to be thinking about your content if you really want to stand out in the YouTube algorithm. You also need to be thinking about what kind of length does this viewer watch, right? So someone who's watching a tutorial probably doesn't want to spend hours and hours learning how to cook a burger. They probably want to spend about 10 to 15 minutes, right? So we have that sweet spot around the middle right there, which is 30 minutes. So they're probably around like this range. This is probably the range that they want to spend. But let's say that you're doing a podcast video. How long would someone who's a vegan want to watch a vegan podcast? Probably closer to the more hour range over here. here. So it really just depends on what kind of content you're actually putting out to them, but you have to think about the length, because if you don't, then you're going to end up making the wrong length of video. You might make a 2-minute video where they don't want that. They're not going to watch a 2-minute video because they know it's not going to have enough information to give them what they actually want. So you have to be really, really specific with this. Same thing in the packaging, especially on their age. How old is your target viewer? That's a very, very important one to think about as well. With that, if they're maybe a younger viewer, then they'd probably respond better to some sort of packaging like this, right? Something that's a little bit more professional, a little bit more flashy, still very simplistic, but nice, high quality. Versus if they're a lot older, let's say that you're targeting people who are 50, 60, 70, 80, they'll probably respond much better to something like this, where it's a little bit less edited, it's less high produced, and it looks just raw and authentic. And it has an older guy in the thumbnail as well, right? They will respond very, very well to that. This one right here is not a bad thumbnail. This guy is pulling in hundreds of thousands of views on every single video because he understands the psychology of his viewers. Same thing here. This video got 60,000 views because I understand the psychology of my viewers, and I understand that they respond better to this more high quality packaging. The next thing that you have to understand is that AVD and CTR don't matter. This is one of my most recent videos. It got 50,000 views and it has a 2-minute 53-second AVD. It has a 20% APV, which is not good at all by traditional standards. But what we have to understand is that AVD doesn't matter. CTR doesn't matter. This video got 2.9% click-through rate and it has 215,000 views. By all traditional metrics, that's horrible, but this video did extremely well. So why is that? Well, first off, with AVD, we don't want AVD to be high. What we want is we want our session time to be high. So if we look at a viewer right here, AVD is how long they spend watching one video. Maybe this is 2 minutes 53. That alone is going to tell the YouTube algorithm that this is not necessarily a video that should get pushed. But if we don't optimize for AVD and instead we optimize for session time, then what we can do is we can push that viewer after this video to another video, and we can make that video hour-long video, 2-hour-long video, 3-hour-long video, or like my video, a 6-hour-long video. So every single video that I post, even if they're short, even if the AVD is bad, say this is like 8 minutes, I'm always getting a much higher average session time because I'm pushing a lot of viewers to that next video on my end screen, or that little video that pops up whenever like a YouTuber ends their videos. So I'm actually getting over a 10-minute 53-second AVD, or session time as it's actually called. This is so much more powerful, and most people completely ignore this, but this is how the YouTube algorithm actually works. You need to connect your videos. If you don't, then you're just going to lose out to everybody else who will. Make a long video and connect your shorter videos to the longer video to increase their session time. Next is CTR. So CTR doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is actual impressions. This video got 5.4 million impressions. Realistically, if I was a newer YouTuber and I saw that this video started off with a lower CTR, but it was getting good impressions, I might think, oh, I need to change this thumbnail. But that would have absolutely killed the video. As long as your impressions are going up, never, ever in your life change the thumbnail. Leave the thumbnail until impressions start to flatline. Then at that point, you can change the thumbnail. But while you're going on this uptrend right here, you never, ever want to change the thumbnail. And the next thing that you have to understand about the YouTube algorithm is that you are fighting a war. Every day at 10 a.m., there are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of videos that are posted. How YouTube works is it's going to see your video that you posted at 10 a.m. Out of these, it's going to isolate that video. So have one video out of that 100,000. It's going to look at maybe what are another 100 or another 1,000 videos that are very similar to your video. And then it's going to essentially look at all those other videos, and it's more than I'm showing on screen. It's usually about 100 to 1,000, but it's going to essentially compare your video to all of these similar videos. And it's going to look at all of the videos, session time, impression level, CTR, AVD. It's going to look at all of that, and it's essentially going to pick the best one. If you don't win that war of your thumbnail, your video being good, people engaging with your video, people commenting, liking, all of that, then YouTube is going to kill your video and it's going to choose another one. Or what could also happen if you do win that war, then what YouTube is going to do is it's going to pick your video and it's going to kill all of these others. And then it's going to go from that first 1,000 impression level, which gets you maybe a couple hundred views, to the next one, which is going to be 10,000. And then your video is going to compete with even more channels. So it's going to compete with thousands and thousands of other videos. And then if it wins at that level, it's going to go up to the 100,000 level, and so on and so on. And this is how videos go go viral. So you have to be thinking about YouTube like a war, and you have to win that war with a good title, a good thumbnail, a good video, and a phenomenal script. And if you do those 4 things, by the way, a great thumbnail doesn't mean a well-designed thumbnail. Going back to who your target viewer is, some viewers respond better to more raw thumbnails. Some viewers respond better to more edited thumbnails, more edited videos, more raw videos. Think about what your viewer responds to and try to make the absolute best version of that you can. If you do that, I can guarantee that your channel is going to blow up. And if you want to learn how to do all of those things, like make ideas, titles, thumbnails, edits, scripts, etc., I have an entirely free YouTube course with over 6 hours of content that you can go through, and it shows you everything step by step on exactly how to blow up your YouTube channel from 0 all the way to 100,000 subscribers in 2025. So watch this video next where I show you what it is, how it works, and how you can use it to blow up your channel in 2025. Thanks, and have a good one.